So my name is Ray. Um, I'm one of the people, just a group of friendly individuals who happen to champion the Flutter Africa community. And I want to just go briefly over why this program was started. So this is the Flutter Affair. Okay, especially for those of you who are just joining us, I just want to say a very big welcome. Okay, you're welcome to the Flutter Affair. The Flutter Affair is a series of virtual meetups, organized by Flutter Africa, where we get to meet amazing developers building with Flutter in Africa. All right, and we have two of them joining us today, and we're going to be hearing their stories, and we're going to be getting to learn a lot from them as well. So I hope you all are excited to be here with me. If you are, you can send a message in the chat to let me know, because this is the very first episode, and I want to say that it's being recorded. Yes, it's being recorded, and it's going to be available after the meeting is over. Okay. So awesome. I just want to go ahead right now, and I want to start with Alistair. Okay. So before, like less than a week ago, less than 2 weeks ago, I barely know most of you, but there has been a rave online recently, about the Flutter Africa community. We have been repping, and it's usually like mainly centered around the desktop platform, and I've been seeing lots of amazing designs and full apps even, done with Flutter on desktop. So like it's been a really amazing month, like recently, to see people in Flutter actually doing things and making noise in the Flutter space. And I'm excited about it. I wasn't even online, and then it got called to my attention, what's going on. I was like, oh wow, this is really amazing. And I'm really proud of everyone that's being awesome, in Africa building with Flutter. So hello Alistair. Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, so I just want to ask you like a simple, more straightforward question. If you were to go back to when you started, first of all, when did you start developing with Flutter?
Okay, so with Flutter, I would say the first time I tried was when I was still in alpha, which was like around 2018.
Oh wow!
So I just did like the code labs that were there on the Flutter documentation. I played around with it, got it running on my computer, and I was like, okay, no, this is pretty cool. But then I dropped it for a bit and continued with Android development because I thought, nah, let me wait for a bit, let me wait for Flutter to improve and get some new features and stuff. And then last year, 2019, I picked it back up and there was a lot of features that were there and I started using it again.
Wow! You were definitely one of the early starters. Like that's so amazing. How did you come to hear about Flutter in the first place? Like, how did you hear about it at such an early time?
So basically, I followed a lot of the news. I think it was in at Google I/O in 2018. They had those videos for Flutter and everything. Like, okay, no, this looks interesting. Let me check it out. So I started learning from that time, I would say, definitely. That's where I heard it the first time. And then I thought that, okay, look, this has potential to be a game changer. Google is behind this, making sure that, it's a proper product and you can make apps with it. It's not like React Native. It's got its own language, no JavaScript and everything. So I thought, all right, no, this is nice. So starting from there, I started keeping up with Flutter, learning about everything that's coming out and what's new and everything, and carried on from there.
Oh wow, that's really cool. You know, that's really cool. Especially coming from someone in Africa. You're based in Africa, right?
Yes, so I'm in Zimbabwe,
Oh,
but yeah, technology never
oh,
stops. No matter where you are in the world, we always follow along and we keep up with everything.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So, one thing I would like to know, if we were to go back to when you started learning Flutter, um, the approach you took. First of all, share with us again the approach you took, and then if you were to go back, what would you do differently this time around about how you started learning Flutter?
Okay, so first app was the basic one that was on their website. It was just have like, down there where it has a button, you just click on the button and then the numbers start increasing. That was like the first app. And then the second one was the name generator, which it would automatically generate names for a company. So I started off with those two. And then I thought that, okay, I more or less have an idea of how to use Flutter. Let me try and go deeper. So last year, I remember they had that course for Android development, the Flutter Bootcamp. And that was the one that was on the London App Brewery. It was a course. So I went through, and the course was explaining a lot of things that I never really learned in the tutorials online. So at that time, I paid for the course. I did the course and I had finished it like in December last year. And I learned everything that I needed to learn about Flutter. We made everything from chat apps to apps that
Wow.
would check the weather and everything. So all those skills that I learned from that course, I was able to apply them to the other apps that I made.
Sorry, what course again?
It's the London App Brewery. So if you check on Udemy, if you search for,
Is it a paid course? Is it a paid course?
so right now you can do the intro to Flutter. It's for free, but there is a more intense bootcamp which you pay like $10, I think. But it's not too bad because that $10 that you pay, the amount of value and knowledge that you get from it, you can use it to make you more money in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's really cool, you know. So how exactly would you go about learning Flutter now, you know, if you're giving advice to someone?
So for most people that ask me that want to get into Flutter, I'd recommend to do the same thing that I did. Check out the courses online, especially the ones that are recommended by the Flutter team. On the dev page, you can check the code labs, the tutorials, and then do like the London App Brewery course. And with all the skills that you get from there, you'll be able to use that to make any app really. So a lot of people at times they get stuck just learning tutorials and making the apps that they see on YouTube, UI clones and everything. So once you're familiar with the basics, you need to start making apps that are really functional that people can use and put it on the Play Store or the App Store.
Oh wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. And I believe some people, people who are just getting started with Flutter would really benefit from such an advice. Okay, thank you so much, Alisa. Let's try to hear from Silas. Hello, Silas.
Yeah.
Hello, Silas. Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, awesome. It's really nice to be with you. You know,
Likewise.
it's good to see how far Flutter has come. So one thing I want to ask is, when exactly did you begin learning Flutter? You know, and what did you start learning Flutter with?
So I started learning Flutter somewhere last year. So I was recommended for a mobile app developer role, but then the recruiter wanted a Flutter developer. So I told him, okay, fair enough. He should give me 3 days to come up with something, so I can, you know, get a chance to interview with them. So he gave me a recommendation on what to do. So my first day, I looked through the language to understand how that works. Then the next day, I watched a tutorial by, I've forgotten the guy's name, but I watched a tutorial on YouTube. where I learned a few widgets, how to build some UIs. And from there, since then, I've been building Flutter.
Interesting. Wow, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. So when you were getting started, I imagine you were like, okay, this is a new platform. And first of all, what year was this? And when you were
That
getting
was
started
last year,
last year, oh wow,
2019.
cool,
Last year.
cool,
Yeah.
that's really cool. So what resource did you use in getting yourself up to speed with Flutter?
Well, I use mainly YouTube. I watch videos and all that.
So free
That's what
videos on
helped me.
YouTube.
And yes,
Wow, that's really cool. Do you have any to recommend?
um, there's Angela Yu. I don't really know. Yeah, so on YouTube when you search Angela Yu, um, her courses are great, and there is this guy EDMT Dev. He also did some videos on specific Flutter functions. So that's how I learned. So anyone can check them out.
Okay, okay. So if I were to ask you, because most of us sometimes when we get started with learning a programming language or framework, of course there are bound to be challenges. So if I were to ask, what exactly was the most difficult part of learning Flutter for you? What was your most difficult challenge?
For me, it was understanding how to build the UI, how the whole UI works, where to put what, how to build what. And coming from an Android background, you see, normally we just drag and drop, then we um, do the ID, we link the IDs of the widgets to the code. But with Flutter, you don't have any drag and drop functionality in there. So coming from an Android perspective, it was quite challenging understanding how the UI, building of UI works. But
Oh,
with practice, as time went on and I was practicing, I got to understand it.
oh wow, wow, that's cool. So how long did it take you to get up to speed with Flutter?
I would say to get up to speed properly, I would
Yeah,
say 3 months because there were a lot
3 months.
of try and errors. Sometimes I had to ask friends on what to do and all that. And my mistake I made was not reading the docs as well because most of the things I needed were found in the docs.
Mm, yeah, true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true. It's really nice to know that you started not too long ago and you've already come so far with it. And I believe you're enjoying your experience so far with Flutter.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really awesome, Silas. Um, if I was to ask, what common myths, let's say, since you started developing with Flutter and the Flutter community at large, what is that thing that you've heard people say about Flutter that you don't believe to be true, either good or bad?
Well, saying is difficult
Mm.
because I believe Flutter is not difficult. It's one of the, by far, looking at the other frameworks out there, by
Yeah.
far, Flutter is the easiest framework to learn.
Wow.
You just need to start gradually. It takes time, but it doesn't take that much time to understand the concept.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah. I believe most of us would agree with you on that. Yeah, that's true. Okay, nice hearing from you, Silas. I'll get back to you. Alistair, are you here with us?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So, I would like to know what exactly was like so far your favorite part about Flutter, and if you have maybe something, a presentation you can give to us.
Okay, cool. Let me just set that up now. But basically, as many of you all know, that one of the most hyped up and talked about features of Flutter is the cross-platform development. So for me personally, coming from an Android background, I always wanted to make Android apps and iOS apps. So in order for me to make iOS apps, I needed to have a MacBook, I needed to learn Swift, and yeah, all of that. So as you all know, some people can't really afford to get a MacBook, and it can be very challenging. So at times you might be stuck, but the nice thing with Flutter is that it allows you to develop for all these different platforms.
True.
So exactly. So for me personally, that was like one of the main things that made me interested in Flutter. So
Okay.
let me just share my screen, and then you'll
So
see.
the cross-platform ability of Flutter is what you love the most about Flutter.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Right,
what are you
so
showing us
in
today?
my slide, I'm showing that Flutter is everywhere. So on Android, iOS, web, desktop, and Internet of Things. So why this is very important is because, let's say, in the developer climate that we're living in right now, especially for us devs in Africa, if you're trying to get a job, well, you'll find that it's either you apply for an Android developer job or an iOS job. Those ones are all separate. So for you, if you learn Flutter, you can develop for all of these platforms. So
Yeah,
that's a
true.
nice thing. So now, as an individual, you'll be more valuable to a company because you'll be able to develop for Android and iOS. They don't have to hire 2 people. So that's a nice thing. And then as time goes on, you see that Flutter is also available on the web. So you can make web apps, you can make desktop apps, and Internet of Things. So all of this, this whole system or this whole framework, you just need to learn Dart, the programming language, and then you'll be able to make applications for all of these platforms. So that's great. In the long run, what will happen is whenever a company hires you and they ever say, well, we need an iOS app, or we need an Android app, or we need a web app, you will be the main guy that will be able to pitch it and say, oh, okay, no, I can do that. Because you
Yeah,
have
with the
all
same
these skills.
code base.
Exactly. One code base and everything. So on the employer side, they don't have to hire a whole team to work on these 5 platforms. They just hire you. So that's great. And even if you're making your own apps, you can also support all of these platforms with one code base, and you just need to learn one language.
You know, that's one thing I love the most about Flutter. The fact that people who are creating their own apps, individuals, they don't have a budget to have someone work on the web separately or mobile separately. They can just do something, create it out, and boom, they have a platform on web, mobile, iOS, and the rest. It's just amazing.
Exactly.
Okay, so you presenting something to us?
Yes. So this last part here is just emphasizing what we just said, that with the Flutter code and the API that you use, everything that you write, the widgets and the Dart code, it all gets compiled back into native code. So it gets converted into Android code, or for iOS, you'll be able to use it and it'll be converted into Swift like that. And the same for websites, it gets converted into JavaScript. And desktop, I'm not really too sure, but there is some conversion going on. It allows you to be able to use it on desktop. So those are the benefits.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Okay.
Right, so
Hi, Silas. Hello, Silas.
Yeah, hi.
Okay. I would also want to know what part of Flutter do you love the most? What exactly in Flutter that got you waking up with a smile on your face every morning?
So I would say it boils around the same thing Alistair said, but using the same UI, the same code, and for the same for us UI and business logic. Let me just
Yeah.
let me quickly make a presentation on that. Sorry for the delay. All right. So before I begin, I just want to know, are you guys flattered? Um,
I am so
so,
fluttered.
yeah. But then, one thing about, we already know what Flutter is. It being it being a cross-platform application from Google, a framework, sorry, from Google to build various applications for various platforms. Mine is using the same UI and business for all the platforms. If we compare that to React Native, you write one code, all right. I know some people ask why isn't it the same? But for me, I'm looking more at performance. Now in React Native, what happens is when you compile your app, right? It depends on the native UI components or native UI renders to
Yeah.
render your app. So based on whatever platform you want to develop or you want to run a build for, these are the processes it goes through, which affects the performance and also the look as well. The look is not consistent throughout, but in Flutter, what happens is Flutter provides a canvas for your app or your widgets, and all it has to do is to just draw on it, which gives it that native feel. And we all know that Flutter is the only framework that has a that's close to native performance. And one more thing is,
Oh.
yeah, over here in Ghana, companies are adopting the Flutter in their app development, and around the world as well, people are embracing
Oh,
it.
interesting.
Here are a few of them I would like to highlight: Bitsika, Firepaders, Fireworks, and CowTribe.
Hmm.
They are part of
Interesting.
a large number of companies using Flutter here in Ghana. And with that being said, I'll ask you: are you flattered? Join the Flutter team and let's build apps.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the Florida community is one of the most amazing tech communities.
Yeah.
I agree with you totally on that, Silas. I agree with you totally. So, one more thing, something I would like to know, who are your top three? Who do you consider your top three most influential people in the Florida community?
Come again.
Yeah, who do you consider your top three most influential people? Who influenced you the most in the Florida
Um,
community?
that list is very long. There are a lot of,
All
yeah.
right.
I would say my boss, that's Stefan Frolich. He's his Twitter handle is the dumb tech guy on yeah, and the Flutter,
Yeah, come again with that. I think some people would want to
the
hear that.
dumb tech guy, the dumb,
Oh my.
yeah, the
Okay.
dumb tech guy. He has taught me a lot.
Interesting name.
He has taught me a lot, and also Rodney Rodney Boache on Twitter. He's Ace KB. He's also taught me. He's been mentoring me for some time now, and the whole developer community in Ghana and Flutter community in Ghana as well. They all inspire me.
Uh, I'm happy to know most of the people inspiring you are people around your environment, you know.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people inspiring you from Ghana also. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. So I'll come back to you, okay, for some
Sure.
summary. I want to speak with Alistair right now. Yo, Alistair.
Yo, yo.
Yes. How you doing? So I just heard from Silas, and he said most of the people inspire him are in Ghana. You know, Flutter community in Ghana. I would also like to know who are the top 3 people that influence you the most in the Flutter community.
All right, so here in Zimbabwe, the Flutter community is picking up. I'm one of the organizers and the leads in the Flutter community group in Zimbabwe, trying to push it forward. So there's a lot of people that are coming up. I have a friend of mine, his name is Donald. His Twitter handle is Donix99, I think. He does really cool UI designs and clones. The other guy is a friend of mine also. His name is Gishelbert. His Twitter handle is I am Supercode, I think. And he is great. He's made some awesome plugins that link with our payment systems here in Zimbabwe that you can tie into your apps. He's amazing. So locally, those are my guys. Those are my Gs. Internationally, though, well, in Nigeria, actually, everyone knows Cheesy. You gotta know Cheesy. Like, that guy is crazy. Like, every time he's always posting for Flutter, and yeah, he's on another level, that guy. So Cheesy, definitely. And then there's a guy called Raja Yogan. You'll find him on YouTube. He makes some nice apps. He has blogs and tutorials as well. And also, I am the PK. The guy MTech Viral, I think. YouTube. Yeah. So so the nice thing is that, you know, there's plenty of inspiration to draw from in the Flutter community.
Wow. It's good to know you have so many people inspiring in the community. And honestly, I could relate with a lot of those names. They're really people that have been doing very well, you know, in the community. You got to give them that. Okay, so one thing I did true or about Flutter, yeah, I feel it's not true. Or you heard about Flutter that people say no, it meant about Flutter. I think it's not true.
So I have a friend of mine who's an Android developer. His name is Van Lee. He's an Android developer, and he's one of those people that, you know, stands by it and is like hardcore. After I spoke to him a bit and everything, he's like, nah, you know, you Flutter devs, you know, it's all right, you know, you're trying something, but Google always kills platforms. So you'll be here for a bit, but Google's going to kill Flutter eventually. So,
yeah, I heard that too.
You get that a lot. So after I spoke to him a bit and everything, I've converted him. He's come over to the dark side. He's trying to learn Flutter as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So those are the main things that I've heard about Flutter.
Wow, that's true, and so it's even more true when I can so relate with it. You know, it's also great to know that you're able to convert that your friend into the dark side, like you call it. And I like the way you put it, the dark side.
Exactly.
Okay, this has been awesome. If there's something about yourself you would like everyone to know about, especially for those people that just joined late, what would it be?
Yeah, so for some of you that have just joined, I'm sure you are either interested in Flutter, or you're considering it, or you are experienced and you're trying to improve. So for those that are just starting out, don't take any shortcuts. Go through the documentation, watch the YouTube videos, and try and build your own apps. That's the main way that you'll be able to learn the platform. Then for those that are already experienced, please stop making UI clones. Yes, the UI clones are cool, but this is not Turbo. We're not designers. Unless if you want to be a Flutter front-end developer, then that's cool. But it's better to make apps that everybody can use and you can have on the Play Store. So keep on learning, keep improving, and put stuff out there that people can use.
Oh, that's awesome. Before I try to wrap this up, I would like to know if anyone here has a question for either Alistair or for Silas. You can drop it in the chat, and he's going to see it and he's going to get a question answered right now. Okay, so how can people connect with you, Alistair? How can they connect with you outside of this?
Sure. So you can either Twitter, name Alistair Holmes. Can you
Hello,
hear me?
Alistair. I think we lost you there.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can. I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
So
All
yeah,
right.
how can people connect with you?
I was saying that on Twitter, you can follow me. My username is Alistair Holmes, which is my name with an underscore at the end. Or
Mm,
if you want to hit me up on GitHub, you can see my GitHub profile and the projects that I work on and the Flutter apps, code that you can steal and everything. The
sure,
username is
sure.
also Alistair Holmes on GitHub as well. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice. It's been really nice getting to know you, Alistair. Getting to hear how you started, your favorite thing about Flutter, challenges, and people inspired you. All this has been awesome. We feel very lucky to have someone like you, um, share his story with us today. So I would like to urge everyone, try to connect with him, reach out to those handles he shared, and check him out. And I think it's someone that you definitely draw inspiration from, especially if you're getting started with Flutter. So over to you, Silas. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so how exactly
So
can people connect with you?
you can follow me on Twitter, Silas Lawer. No underscore, the full name altogether, Silas Lawer. GitHub, the same name as well. And one more thing I'd like to add,
Yeah.
for those who want to learn Flutter, don't wait. The time to learn is now. Start learning Flutter now. As time goes on, you get it. And as Alistair said, don't take any shortcuts. Yeah, thank you very much.
Wow, wow, it's been awesome, man. This advice is so solid. Definitely, people would benefit from hearing and applying this advice. It's been awesome having you, Silas, and it's been awesome having you, Alisa. Um,
Thanks for
we
having
hope to
me.
connect some other time, okay? And I hope everyone
Sure.
can try connecting with them on their various social media platform and get inspired to even do more. Okay, so if you just join in, this has been the Flutter Affair, a series of virtual meetups where we get to meet awesome people dealing with Flutter in Africa and sometimes beyond. And today we've had Alistair Holmes and we have Silas Lawer. And did I get the name right?
Oh yeah.
It's
Brother.
Lawe. Lawe.
Lawer. Yeah, Silas Lawer is a
Yeah.
Flutter developer from Ghana, and Alistair Holmes is a Flutter Zimbabwe developer all the way from Zimbabwe. And these two people have been really inspiring, and they're amazing people. You should really check them out. Okay. A recording of this will be available later on our YouTube channel, and it'll also be available on podcast. So y'all can keep checking us out. If you joined us today, I just want to say you're very special. This is the very first episode of the Flutter Affair. So you're very special, and we have awesome lineups. This happens every 2 weeks, so you should expect it twice a month. And we have awesome people joining us too. Next week we have really amazing people joining us. You can't even afford to miss it. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's joined, to our speakers, Alistair and Silas, and to everyone that's here right now. Okay, you all are awesome. So thank you for being part of the very first episode of the Flutter Affair, and do have a great day ahead of you. Thank you all. And remember to stay fluttered. It's like just like Sarah said. Remember to stay fluttered. Don't ever forget that. All right, guys. Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.